Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a philosophy for aging, but it's not what you think. It's less about restriction and way more about intention. We're getting our inspiration from one of Japan's longest-living doctors. And spoiler alert, it has nothing to do with miracle pills or crazy fad diets. Nope, it's all about a really profound yet simple way of thinking about food that can totally transform your energy and well-being.
Okay, get this. This single phrase right here, it's pretty much the secret key to the whole thing. Eat to live, not live to eat. So simple, right? But this was the mindset that guided Dr. Shigeaki Hinohara to live this incredibly active, sharp life all the way to 105. For him, you see, food wasn't the star of the show. It was more like a faithful sidekick, the ally that supported his body, his mind, and his spirit every single day.
And this guy wasn't just talking the talk. He was the living, breathing proof of his own advice. I mean, well past his 100th birthday, he was still working, still seeing patients. He was climbing stairs every day, writing books, giving lectures. He really showed us that true longevity isn't something you buy with expensive treatments. It's something you build, piece by piece, with simple daily habits.
All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. To really understand his approach, we've got to look at two foundational Japanese principles. These two ideas, well, they were the bedrock for every single meal he ate. They're the absolute core of this entire philosophy.
So the first big one is Hara Hachi Bu. Now, this isn't about starving yourself or some crazy diet, not at all. It's actually about mindfulness. It's about paying just enough attention to your body to recognize that exact moment when you're satisfied but not stuffed. You know that feeling? Dr. Hinohara truly believes that it's excess, too much of anything, that ages us way faster than the clock.
And that's where this number comes in, 80%. It sounds so simple, but it's everything. It's the core of moderation. It's that sweet spot where you just stop. You leave the table feeling light, energized, and your mind is sharp. You're basically avoiding that food coma, that metabolic overload that just tanks our energy for the rest of the day.
Okay, the second core idea is something called Shindo Fuji, and it's a really beautiful concept. It literally means body and earth are one. It's its principle that our bodies are deeply, fundamentally connected to the earth around us. So the idea is when you eat local, seasonal foods, the stuff nature is providing right now, right where you are, your whole system just works better. Your digestion improves, your energy levels out, and you might even notice your mood gets more stable. It's all about being in sync.
So that all sounds great in theory, right? But what does it actually look like on a plate? You might be surprised it's probably not as complicated or foreign as you're picturing. Let's break down how these big ideas come together to create a meal that's perfectly balanced, super simple, and genuinely satisfying.
The traditional structure for a meal is called Ichiju-Sansai, one soup, three sides. Again, sounds simple, right? But don't let that fool you. This basic setup is genius because it gives you incredible variety and balance. You get this feeling of lightness, but you never feel like you're missing out on anything. It's just elegant. It's moderation done beautifully.
And here's a perfect example of how that works. You can see the balance right here in action. You've got your base, usually rice, for that steady, clean energy. Then you have the soup, like a classic miso soup, which is amazing for hydration and digestion. And then your three sides, this is where the magic happens. You might have some grilled fish for protein and those amazing omega-3s, some cooked veggies for vitamins and fiber, and maybe some tofu for even more protein. It covers all your bases.
But you know, what's not on the plate is just as important as what is. Take a look. What's missing? You don't see a ton of red meat or big servings of dairy. You definitely don't see ultra-processed junk or sugary sodas. The focus is so heavily on whole, simple ingredients that all that other stuff, the stuff we know causes inflammation and messes with our metabolism, it just kind of gets crowded out naturally.
So you might be thinking, okay, this all sounds a little too simple. Can it really be that effective? And that's a fair question. But what's so cool is that modern science is now catching up and confirming the incredible benefits this way of eating has on our bodies, especially as we get older.
Let's look at the proof. We're talking serious anti-inflammatory power from the omega-3s in fish and all the antioxidants in the veggies. We're talking amazing gut health thanks to fermented foods like miso and natto that feed your good bacteria. It's even been shown that the whole Hara Hachi Bu thing, that conscious calorie restriction, can trigger something called autophagy. That's your body's natural cleanup crew for getting rid of old, junky cells. It's like these ancient habits line up perfectly with what cutting-edge science is discovering right now about healthy aging.
Okay, so here's the best part.
You absolutely do not need to live in Japan to get the benefits of this wisdom. You don't have to track down a bunch of specialty ingredients. This is all about inspiration, not imitation. It's about taking the core principles and making them work for you wherever you are.
So, the big question is, where do you even begin, right? Because changing your habits can feel like a huge, overwhelming task. But I promise you, getting started is way easier than you think. Let's just break it down into a few super practical first steps that literally anyone can start with, like today.
Okay, the absolute key here is to start small. Don't try to change everything overnight. First, just think about balancing your plate. A good rule of thumb? Aim for about half your plate to be veggies, a quarter with some quality protein, and a quarter with whole grains. Step 2, and this is a great trick, use smaller plates and bowls. It naturally helps you manage portions. Third, try to establish a rhythm. Stick to 2 or 3 solid meals a day to cut down on that constant snacking. Keep the cooking simple, steaming, grilling, that kind of thing. And maybe the most important of all, eat mindfully. Sit down, turn off the TV, put the phone away, and actually chew your food. It makes a world of difference.
And while you're getting started, it's really helpful to know about a few common traps people fall into. For one, don't confuse eating light with eating poorly. You have to make sure you're getting enough protein, like 25 to 30 grams, at every meal to stay strong. Also, watch out for processed sauces and dressings. Try seasoning with simple things like a little low-sodium soy sauce, miso, or fresh ginger instead. And please, remember this, the goal is not perfection. It's about consistency and finding a way of eating that you actually enjoy without any guilt.
When you really boil it all down, what we learn from Dr. Hinohara is that longevity isn't something you can just buy off a shelf. It's something you build, day by day, on these 4 pillars: simplicity, moderation, seasonality, and gratitude. And when you do that, you're not just transforming your body, you're transforming your entire approach to living a full, vibrant life.
So, I'll leave you with this question. It all starts with one tiny change, just one. So what will it be for you this week? Are you going to try eating to that 80% full point at your next meal? Maybe you'll add a simple soup to dinner. Or maybe, just maybe, you'll put your phone away and just be present with your food. The first step, whatever it is